Diversity, inclusiveness, tolerance and equality are all super trendy buzzwords at the moment. On the other hand, freedom, responsibility and respectful debate are labelled as hate speech. The former Deputy PM, Mr. John Anderson, recently grabbed my attention when he said, "Diversity in this country is rapidly coming to mean a stifling conformity. You do not dare deviate from the line." He's right, of course. Many in our society spruik and shout about diversity, but what they actually want is uniformity. They want everyone to submit to a very narrow, very stifling view. Whether it's about women, sexuality, the economy, marriage, family, the sanctity of life, or certain minority groups, there's only one view that's acceptable, and every other view is demonised and shouted down. Diverse opinions horrify them and send them running for crayons and safe spaces. You see, by diversity, they actually mean let's all be the same. They want us to think the same way, speak the same way, and hate the same way. That's right, political correctness is full of hate. That PC beast hates anything that challenges personal responsibility and the victimhood status. It's always someone else's fault. Someone else is to blame. We are commanded to tolerate and accept Islam, a violent, anti-women, anti-gay ideology that oppresses minority groups, while we're actively encouraged to promote the LGBTI agenda and attack the Judeo-Christian foundation of society any way we can. We're called all kinds of ridiculous names if we disagree. Islamophobe, bigot, racist, you name it. We're told everyone is equal, except for some minority groups who get elevated because they're a little bit more equal. Everyone is equal, unless of course they're the most persecuted group in the world, being Christians in the Middle East. They're anything but equal. We are told women just want equality, and yet the rhetoric is clear that according to many feminists and some lily-livered male supporters, women are in fact far superior to men, unless of course it suits the narrative to present these same women as the downtrodden and disadvantaged ones. They scream tolerance at us, but will not tolerate having their view challenged. No wonder people are confused. When we mention freedom, they quiver in fear. Why? Because with freedom comes responsibility. We have a generation of young people who have never been held accountable for their actions. They've been rescued or mollycoddled. We've made excuses for many of them every step of the way. They get awards just for participating and hardly ever have to face the consequences of their own selfish choices. Overprotective helicopter parents have created little monsters who think it is their right to always feel safe, have everything handed to them on a platter, and they have been sold the lie that they're entitled to whatever they want. But when reality bites, and it always does, they realise the world is not safe and they don't actually have a fairy godmother who will make everything all nice. Then they're left ill-equipped to deal with hardship, pain and loss. Instead of being guided and encouraged to persevere and overcome, they are handed crayons and told they're entitled to silence anyone who challenges their worldview. So they yell and attempt to shut down any opinion that threatens their false reality. They throw temper tantrums that they should have outgrown as 2-year-olds. They wear safety pins and cry and refuse to take their place in the world. It's not helpful. They demand the government fix the problems that the government actually created in the first place. There is an all-out assault on our senses, on our intelligence, on human decency, on common sense. As conservatives, we have sat back for too long, exercising compassion, tolerance and diversity to the point where it's now being used against us. We cannot continue in this complacency. We cannot sit around complaining, waiting for someone else to fix it or for sanity to prevail, because it won't. The march to our own destruction is well underway. Are you going to go along with it? Or are you going to stand up and say, that's it, draw a line? You know, it will cost you. It cost our forefathers, but they knew that it was worth it. I've counted the cost, and I know many of you have as well. We have to do what it takes to take this politically correct beast by the shoulders and shake it and bring it down so that it has no more control over us or our society.